Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a quick short vid. So I've been making this video over and over and over and over again, right? And if I wanna, okay, I'm not gonna do that. Oh, okay, it saved it. Okay, cool. I thought I was gonna have to put my pin in. I was like, fuck. Um, so this particular video, I'm kind of talking about vampirism, right? Um, the benefits, the downsides, and just overall my thoughts on it, right? So. I'm playing with Vampirism right now, and one of the things I want to test out, and one of the thoughts I'm kind of trying to work through is how useful is Vampirism, right? Because Vampirism itself, it heals you for 5% HP of the damage that you deal, and it also, keeping that in mind, but it has a 50 like HP hit cap, so that means the maximum that you can heal per hit is 50. But um, I want to see how many hits I'm actually able to do within that minute using my standard rotation, which my tool for that's actually going to be the big arrows because every hit splat that I do, it raises the big arrows counter up to 450. And what I like about that is right now I'm not using any kind of uh, boost. So far in this minute and yeah, these 40 seconds, I've already dealt 180 hit splats, right? Um, or hits. So that means I've healed for that approximately that much, right? Let me go ahead and do that, do that, do that, do that, do that, do that. And I want to see if I can actually heal through all of this, right? Because usually I soul split this particular boss, and what that does, it just allows me to ignore everything, Like I'm able to heal without the vampirism aura, through everything. And I want to see if that can happen again here. So far, I'm already at 405 HP, and let me do this. I don't really feel like I'm doing that much healing, because my HP is kind of low, in my personal opinion. It should be higher, but it's one of those things where it could just be because of the mistakes that I'm making. If you notice, I'm not actually dealing any crits. That's because I added equilibrium to my armor set. I heard that it does more damage overall, so I'm kind of testing that out as well. But my healing isn't quite where I want it to be. Yeah, I'm dealing damage, and yeah, it's not terrible, but if I was using Soul Split, I would be healing for significantly more. And I've done quite a bit of damage already, like 450, like if you're in 450, that means that I've done 450 hits, you know? So it's just one of those things where again it's like, am I is vampirism really that good? Right? It could just be because I'm not doing it right at the moment, and I'm intentionally doing that. I feel like vampirism is more of a utility thing for when you're doing Slayer, not necessarily for bossing. And bossing itself requires a lot of DPS, but it also requires for you to be very flexible with the way that you're playing the game. Right now, I don't have that much HP, and again, it's because walk underneath. And it's because, hey, you know what? Maybe I'm messing up all the mechanics, and I'm not just see it's slowly going up when there's a proper amount of hits, but even so, my HP is kind of just tending to stay low, which again, damn it, yeah, he's gonna die. Okay. And I had to heal already, which is a bit embarrassing. Because usually, again, when I'm doing care pack like this, I'm usually using Soul Split, but I really just want to see what my Vampirism can do. And it's not really doing too hot, if I'm being honest. But Again, I can, if I do the math, and somebody else is using it, I'm sure that they can do a much better job with this. It's just that right now I don't feel like I'm getting a benefit that ah, crap, I'm gonna die. Don't die, don't die, don't die. Okay. Um, because I'm trying to make an argument for using darkness over vampirism, because my main peeve with the current status quo is that vampirism overwrites darkness and darkness overwrites vampirism, but I feel like you should be able to use them together. I feel like vampirism should just be something that you're able to use with any spell. So animate dead should allow you to use vampirism. Darkness should allow you to use vampirism, but it doesn't. You are currently kind of stuck with using vampirism as a substitute for darkness, and that's really not good because, again, darkness is not, it's really overpowered. And animate dead, when you're using it in the right way, it really is overpowered as well. So it just kind of leaves me thinking vampirism is underpowered. And it's so much so to the point where, ah, crap, I messed up. Okay, I need to focus. It's so much so to the point where I wonder if there's really any benefit to using, um, let me see right there. Oh my God. Okay. There we go. Hit him. Hit him. This is the first time I've done so terribly in this thing in such a long time. Nice. Nice little 3K heal. Okay, do the snapshot. Hit this. Hit him with that. And then come on. See, because I feel like vampirism isn't doing enough. Like it really. Ah, crap. Crap, 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 crap. I'm gonna die. 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 I died. D- Damn it, so close. Sí, estaban ahí en la... Pues, tíralas por favor, porque yo no las quiero. Alright, back to the, sorry, I was just answering my mom. No, yeah, I don't like how vampirism is currently being used. You have to choose between darkness and vampirism on paper is really good, and when you're doing a lot of hit splats, it really does heal you for a lot. Like, 200 max hits, right? On max hits, so you hit the cap on every single one. 200 of that will give you your full HP back over the course of however fast you hit them. But the problem is darkness does so much more. It lets you completely dodge a hit, and the thing with that is if I need healing, I can switch over to Soul Split. Does that make sense? If I have Soul Split, I don't really need Vampirism, especially if I'm using Darkness, because Darkness is going to help me avoid everything. I think Darkness is really good. I think Vampirism has its uses, but if I had to pick between the two of them, I'm always going to be choosing Darkness because I can heal with Soul Split flicking, right? But and if I mess up the Soul Split flick, the Darkness has a 1 in 5 chance to save my mess up. Whereas with Vampirism, I'm not gonna hit I'm limited by how many hit splats I can make in, let's say, in a 10-second interval. I can't out heal damage even when I have the correct prayer on, you know? It's something that, again, I feel like it's more useful for Slayer than anything, or a low level player, but not if you're already used to bossing, you're already used to fighting a lot of the harder difficulty things, because then you've already learned how to soul split. So what's gonna happen here, right? In my opinion, is because you have to choose between darkness or animate dead and vampirism. Most of the time, most people, in my humble opinion, will be choosing um darkness or animate dead. but they're not going to choose vampirism because look, if you're switching between the two, it resets your you use it's like using an ability for darkness if you're switching back and forth. And you're wasting time. Your window for healing is gone because I do heal in Zamorak, right? And again, I would rather use Soul Split to heal than and have the possibility of dodging or yeah, negating an attack with darkness rather than having to use hope that I'm dealing enough hit splats or enough damage for vampirism to heal me properly. It's a nice bonus, but I'm not going to choose darkness. I'm not going to choose vampirism over darkness. And I'm sure if you're using animate dead, you're not going to choose animate dead between darkness. And if you're switching between all three, like you're like hyper clicking and all that, like you're wasting a tick on something you could be dealing damage with or dodging a mechanic. So I feel like by making them mutually exclusive, they really nerfed vampirism. But if they can make it so vampirism is just a passive that you can unlock from war, then because there's passives already, make it a really expensive passive. Oh, it's a passive where you can only get it after X, Y, and Z, like 100 boss kills, 1,000 boss kills. How many ever boss kills you want to say? Because you already have a precedent for this ability cooldown, grimoire, adrenaline refresh, campfires. Everybody would be able to unlock it. It's just that as it is now, I don't like vampirism, and I don't really think I'm going to be using it. I'm going to be using darkness, because even in the best case scenario where I'm using it for Carapac, I can just out DPS whatever I was going to get benefit from for fighting Carapac, for the Bloodhound and the healing and all that kind of stuff. That's the video. Yay. I feel like I'm saying a whole lot of nothing and I'm kind of shitting on what they did with vampirism, but it's not that they did a bad job. It's just that I feel like vampirism we were so used to using vampirism because I would love to use vampirism as an aura whenever I'm doing Carapac, whenever I'm doing Zamorak. Um, but now that I have to choose between darkness and vampirism, I'm always going to be choosing darkness because I just get so much more utility and so much more safety out of darkness than I do with vampirism. Soul Split is significantly better than vampirism, in my opinion. And it should just because, it's your hard-earned inflict damage on your target will regenerate your own life points. Let me see if it says exactly how much. Doesn't say exactly how much, but yeah, it's disappointing that they made them mutually exclusive, but it's not the worst or the end of the world. I just think that they could have done it slightly better. Made it a passive from the Shop of War. Everybody could have used it, everybody could get it, and it would follow the theme of loyalty. If you're doing war, that means that you're killing bosses and that you're doing a bunch of crap, and you've been playing the game for a long time, so it makes sense that you would be able to unlock a sweet passive like that. But right now they're just limiting it really, really. It went from being like something I would say, oh yeah, every single battle that you can take with you, use the vampirism aura for everything because it's a 5% heal, even if it caps at 50 HP per hit splat. It's still gonna benefit you no matter what. To no, use darkness if you can, and use soul split to heal. If you don't have soul split and you haven't unlocked darkness, or you don't have darkness for whatever reason, then use vampirism. But I would recommend you unlock Soul Split eventually, and then I would recommend that you also um, unlock Darkness eventually, so that it's an upgrade. Those are kind of my thoughts. Those are kind of my feelings on it. It's not necessarily something terrible, but it could be significantly better. Yeah, thank you for listening. I know I said it was going to be short, but it was already 14 minutes. I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye.